All right, let's go. Excellent. Thank you, Petitbot and Nathan. We are very excited for this match. Nathan is kicking it off. So everybody has brought 2 decks, and they have picked one to start with. Nathan has Phage, the Lady General of the Keep. He won Vault Tour Richmond with this deck. It was a sealed event, which means he opened the deck there and played it all the way through to victory, denying the Archons of Atlanta a 3rd Vault Tour win. It looks like Petitbot is leading off with a Bianca Medina, a Brobnar Mars Untamed deck with double Martian Generosity. So these are 2 Martian Generosity decks. That card reads, lose all of your amber, draw 2 cards for each amber lost this way. It is a very powerful card that even though it costs you amber, which is what you win the game with, you get so many cards in hand that it really doesn't matter, and it really accelerates you to a victory. So a single Martian Generosity deck against a double Martian Generosity deck. An interesting fact, out of the 32 decks in this competition, 6 are Age of Ascension, the set in which Martian Generosity appeared, and 5 of them contain Martian Generosity. Petitbot, let's see here. Nathan with the first turn playing Dusk Chronicles, archiving a card, gaining an amber, a decent start. He put away a Mars first, which is one of his tools for that big burst turn, and he's got a great looking Brobnar turn set up here. Petitbot opens with Mars, Mother Gun, which is great, Collector Worm, and Mind Warper, which is a lovely setup. The Mind Warper lost to Brainmo's play, deal 2 damage to each enemy flank creature. This Collector Worm could certainly be a problem picking up creatures and putting them into Petitbot's archives where Nathan would not be able to get to them. But that Mars first, letting him activate his Glixol Proliferator to hopefully archive a Martian Generosity. He might be safe from that, and he's got plenty of damage on the board here too. There it is. Ganger Chieftain Fuzul had just enough to take out that Collector Worm. But it's a strong start for Nathan. He opens with the Drummerknot combo here. Being able to play Drummerknot and Ganger Chieftain. They trigger off of each other is the short of it, to ready the creatures to fight, but because you cannot fight when there are no enemy creatures, you get to do this. Later, we're going to have some really fun commercials from the masterminds behind the KeyForge podcast. I briefly thought about playing those during any Gangerknot turns because they can take a hot minute to resolve. KeyForge does have the rule of 6 that you can only play or use a copy or a card by its name 6 times in a turn, so Nathan is going to hit that. Pretty well here. He will likely get, I think, 5 amber off of this combo. Now, the other thing about Martian Generosity decks is that you don't want to necessarily forge a key immediately. You want to spend that amber on Martian Generosity. But it looks like Nathan is going to go for forging that first key, taking advantage of that board position. Now, his Martian Generosity deck doesn't have a key cheat. In Mars, it doesn't have the key abduction that would allow him to forge a key when he has a lot of cards in hand. So he is going for this key, playing a bit more of a traditional game with a very strong Brobnar start, removing that Collector Worm, that Bind Warper, and drawing into a 4-card Shadows hand, which is lovely. Oubliette, Nerve Blast, getting a Deep No Spymaster out there. These are some great tools to try to deal with whatever Petitbot goes and places onto the board here. Petitbot also going Brobnar. Love seeing a lot of Age of Ascension Brobnar here. Tremor stunning all 3 of his creatures, removing their effectiveness for a turn. Playing out the Kalfine, the Bingle Bang Bang. Sister cards, if you will, both having a before fight deal damage to neighboring creatures. That does allow Nathan to forge his first key, which is a good move for him. He is picking which house to play. I'm assuming his choices are between Brobnar getting a Ganger Chieftain out. He would be able to fire off the Drummerknot combo again. Of course, he would have to fight into some creatures for that to happen. He is picking Shadows to get through his hand there. Now, interesting choice. Will he purge the Bingo Bang Bang, or will he Nerve Blast the Bingo Bang Bang? There is no amber to steal. Petitbot has not generated any amber. So he is going to use Oubliette to purge the Bingo Bang Bang. Playing Dusk Chronicles, allowing him to archive a card because he has more amber in his pool than Petitbot does. Discarding the Nerve Blast. Not worth it to save it to steal an amber. So, Petitbot is in a very interesting situation here. He has both of his Martian Generosities in his hand. This is not an ideal situation for Martian Generosity, as he is at 0 amber. The only other Mars card in his hand is Zorg. He does have Glimmer. He could go Untamed to... those are just more creatures, the Mind Warper and the Collector Worm there, to set up for our Mars turn. Really unfortunate draw order here for him. Nathan has started out with a traditionally strong Brobnar turn with a Drummer Knot that let him basically get that first key automatically, which is great. Give me a moment to move my stream window over here. Checking chat as I can. So yes, Petitbot taking a moment here. He really has a choice to make. If he ditches those Martian Generosities, that is really what the deck is built around. You could get 4 cards off of it. Lose 2, gain 4. Not really sure that's worth it. Of course, Nathan's board is stunned, and Nathan has drawn into his own Martian Generosity. In his archives, he has Mars First and Stormcrawler, which would be 1 amber, and then 1 amber off of a Reap there. That'd be 2 amber, taking him up to 3, 4. He could draw 8 cards. Might be worth firing that off for 8 cards this next turn. He also may try to... what I anticipate Nathan will do, we'll give Petitbot a minute here. It's a tough decision. There he goes, Petitbot playing a single Martian Generosity, seeing what he draws into. Does he draw into more cards to generate more amber? And he draws into more Mars cards, which is great. But none of those are going to get him additional amber to really make this deck fire. So he has just another tough decision here. Does he play out his Mars cards in preparation for another turn? There it is. He plays the second Martian Generosity. I have to imagine Nathan is feeling good about seeing those. Nathan is in a good position with his Martian Generosity. He has a steal with Swindle if he needs it. As soon as Petitbot goes up to 3 amber, Nathan can Swindle as long as that doesn't take him to check, and then go straight into a Mars turn if he wants to. As Petitbot does not have much amber at all right now, and is just establishing a very normal Mars board without the threat of that Martian Generosity, I anticipate Nathan will go Brobnar, get unstunned. He has double Ganger Chieftains, a la the Titanic, that he can use to... He will draw 3 more cards at the end of the turn, see what else he gets as far as Mars, or some more amber generation in Shadows. He gets to unstun these and do as much of the Gang or Not combination as he wants to, possibly using the Titanic to one-shot this Dominator. And with 2 of these out, he could use 1 on Lollop, unstun Drummer Knot. He could use 1 on the Ganger Chieftain into Calfine. And just a warning, listeners, I will pronounce the name of this card here differently every time I say it. KeyForge has so many weird names. And we've heard Brad Andres, outgoing lead designer of KeyForge, say this as Calfine. I've always said Calfine. We have whatever the heck that is. XLX Dominator. Anyways. So, Nathan going with the Brobnar turn, as we thought. Yes, there's the Lullaby Titanic. I anticipate a Ganger Chieftain coming down next to that, slamming into that Dominator to remove the threat. There it is. Love Lullaby Titanic, the only card, the only creature with the location tag there. Unstunning the Brandmoan Drummer Knot. I anticipate the other Ganger Chieftain coming down onto the Drummer Knot slamming into the Calfine, and then we'll see what he picks to send back to hand with the Drummer Knot. There's the Ganger Chieftain play. Let's see where it comes down. Nathan has a stronger KeyForge competitive play resume than I do, so if he plays something different, we're going to give him that credit. All right, Ganger Chieftain next to the Ganger Chieftain. Doesn't want to put damage on that Drummer Knot. So sacrifices a Ganger Chieftain to take out that Cow Fiend, keeping that Drummer Knot. Now that's a good move because he keeps this Drummer Knot damage free. And so next turn, if he wants to go to the Drummer Knot combo again, he can reap with the Drummer Knot, bounce the Ganger Chieftain, and get the combo going again after using Lollop to finish off the Zorg. That's if his best choice is a Brobnar turn after this. He is really playing this Brobnar setup well. He is playing for the long term. He's only a key ahead. I have seen much bigger comebacks than this. I've seen much bigger comebacks than this. And chat, let me know how the card size is looking. I'm thinking we're at a pretty good size so far, but let me know if I can adjust these card sizes. We can adjust that in my profile real quick, or shrink and expand the Chrome window here. So, all right. We have Petitbot with a great hand of Untamed here. This seems to have some hope for getting him set up again. The Glimmer to pull back the Martian Generosity from the discard pile if that's his call. We'll see. He could do it. He doesn't have much to reap with. He doesn't have anything to reap with in Mars to generate that Amber, so he'd need to generate it on a previous turn with another house and then go into Mars. And then go into Mars for the Martian Generosity turn, and it would also signal that to Nathan. Nathan would know exactly where his Martian Generosities are. Although, a Martian Generosity in your hand, still better than a Martian Generosity in your discard pile. So, making the choice for Glimmer. Returning Calfina to the hand. Staying true to you, Twitch chat. To my promise there. Calfina returns to hand. We are in Untamed. So as you can see, we have a Song of Spring. Shuffle any number of friendly and tame creatures back into the deck. Not something I'm sure we want right now, or nothing in the discard pile, of course. He may shuffle the Flaxia back in. Flaxia gives the 2 Amber if you control more creatures than your opponent. However, that would only slow him down by a card if, when he redraws that Flaxia, he doesn't have more creatures than Nathan, which he can't really bet on right now because Nathan has a Lollop still left to, and if that Lollop dies, it's only because Nathan has taken out at least one more of Petitbot's creatures with it. And we have Brand Mode dealing damage to flank creatures if he bounces it with Drummer Knot. Drummer Knot with 6 power, Ganger Knot with 5. Or Drummer Knot with 5. So not a lot of promise for board control here. Unless he's got big plans, I'm not sure if that would be a strong play. He might have board clears. Let's see. There's a Relentless Assault, which could certainly help out. Extinction won't clear a whole board. He does not have a powerful board clear here, which is going to hurt against this beefy Brobnar setup. Especially because these creatures are smaller. It's not going to be hard for Nathan to order it right to finish off a few people with Lollop, maybe not even losing Lollop, maybe healing Lollop with Drummer Knot. Bouncing that Lollop back to hand, and then he can play the Lollop back out without any damage. Brand Mode doing damage to enemy flank creatures. We've got a Nature's Call, which the only thing it would be good for him to bounce back would be the Deep No Spy Master. Okay, because all of those, he's now saved him healing the Lollop. I mean, I guess that saves him, that saves his Glimmer. That saves his Glimmer from a bloody death in the palm of Lollop the Titanic. But these have play abilities, and I guess that does just slow his hand down a bit. Although that does give him 3 extra cards. Nathan now has 3 extra cards in his hand if he goes into Martian Generosity, which I don't anticipate he'll do now. We shall see, though. Nathan still with that Swindle in hand. Petitbot with the 4 amber. Too much to protect in case... that is a great tool against Petitbot, even if Petitbot was in a stronger situation. And of course, this is a combination people love in this game, and that is awfully interesting. Let's see, catching up. I think about 10 seconds. What a deck name, starting hand. Okay, cool. Fantastic. So Nathan going into Brobnar here, just getting his Brobnar, bringing his Brobnar back out, playing First Blood, a prize to Nathan for getting a use out of that card. Not a particularly strong one from Age of Ascension, but when it fires, it's great. So that's KeyForge for you. That is KeyForge for you. Let's see. This is a lovely, interesting card as Nathan just goes through his Brobnar turn here, clearing out the board. Grunt Buggy is a card that gives an effect to both players. Both opponents can increase each other's key costs by playing creatures of power 5 or higher, which is great for Martian Generosity decks because you want as much amber as possible, even more than 6 if you can. Because you just want to drain all that amber into your cards, which are going to then get you a bigger return on your investment. It would be a terrible thing for Petitbot to play in this matchup right now because of this gargantuan Brobnar setup. And if he has looked at his opponent's deck list, there's too much to protect stealing all but 6 of your opponent's amber. So, not one I would recommend. So Lullap has reaped, got stunned by the Amber Conduction unit after an enemy creature reaps. If it's the first time a creature has reaped this turn, stun it. And we are over to Petitbot's turn. So Nathan is doing a lot of work to stay completely on top of the board, not letting Petitbot get any footing here as far as 1 board control or 2 a setup for Martian Generosity, if he has any way to get them back or to cycle through his deck and see those cards that are now in his discard pile. So Nathan positioning himself for a burst play. If he can keep Petitbot down and get himself to a position where he then goes into Martian Generosity, that could very likely close out the game, depending on the tricks that Petitbot brings out. He certainly got some up his sleeves as he gets the pair of Pampakas, Anga and Jaga out. That would give all of his creatures +2 power and skirmish. And if he has a board, he would be able to fairly easily clear any board across from him. However, of course, this is a decently strong one. Yes, we want those ROIs to be high. Certainly. In our archives, Mars First, Stormcrawler for Nathan there, waiting for the giant Mars turn. Aha! So, he has drawn into the Martian Generosity at the end of his last turn, after he finished that Brobnar turn. His other Mars First, Mother Gun, and a Mars First. Ladies and gentlemen, I would predict a Martian Generosity turn by Nathan coming up. Fireworks. Ladies, gentlemen, Archons all fireworks. Explosions. Call the fire department. Call the police. The Martians are about to get generous. I mean, look, actually call the police. I mean, look at this. Look at this friggin' card. He's holding the guy up. Forgive me, I misspoke. 40% discount. Martians are mean. They're terrible. Let's see what he does, because if he goes Shadows, he doesn't have much to do except play at the Deep No Spy Master, wasted too much to protect its ability, Swindle, but that puts him at check. But maybe he goes to check for a regular Swindle, and then saves that a slightly smaller by 3 amber Martian Generosity turn for afters. Because if he does the Swindle, he puts Petitbot in a sticky situation. because Petitbot could hold off from any amber control, which, as we can see from his hand, he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any amber control in his hand, and that would get him up to a second key, and he could still Martian Generosity for a smaller but good amount to launch him toward his last key, or if he Martian Generosities now, he just goes huge. So one's a slightly more conservative play to try to lock in that second key, because Petitbot would know as a Martian Generosity player, if he keeps Nathan off of that key, then Nathan is at 5, maybe 4 amber, and could just burst up from that to then Martian Generosity for even more, because remember, it's lose all of your amber. But it's a 50-50 with that second key, with Petitbot only being at 4 amber before his first key. All right, here it is. Nathan has gone into Mars, plays Stormcrawler. I anticipate 2 Mars firsts to reap with Stormcrawler twice, which will be a total of 4 amber for Nathan. That is going to take him up to, I believe, 7 amber just from those moves. Oh, forgive me, the amber conduction unit is out. That is going to take a single amber out of the equation. The other Mars first would simply remove that stun, only reducing the amber generation here by 1, so not terrible. Still good for Petitbot. He needs every advantage he can get if he is going to come back from drawing both of his Martian Generosities without any other useful Mars cards in his hand. Which is honestly, chat is not, is nothing on Petitbot here. Absolutely nothing on Petitbot, because yes, there's the Martian Generosity, losing 6 amber, drawing 12 cards. He saved his Mars first. And here's why. He was hoping to draw into, and I don't think he did, his Glixel Proliferator, which is a card that, if it is, it can reap an archive a card from the discard pile. So he was saving his Mars first, so that if he could play out, the Glixel, the Proliferator, used Mars first for it to reap and go ahead and archive that Martian Generosity, which puts it into his archives for use on a future turn. And it looks like he's got so many cards in his hand, he will not be drawing into these 4 cards, one of which is his Glixel Proliferator. So not an ideal situation for Nathan here. It didn't go as well as it could have. But Martian Generosity for 12 cards, still very strong. Definitely not the strongest move he's seen. Oh, he's going ahead and using the Mars first on the Xanthix Harvester to get 2 amber off of it, reap, get up to 7 amber, check for that next key. Now, that was the more conservative play. Instead of waiting several turns for that Proliferator, holding onto that Mars first. More conservative play to go ahead and get to check for his second key. Petitbot Mother Gun revealing several Mars cards, taking out the Ganger Chieftain, playing out the Think Drone, using Vizima Think Drone, and is using Vizima Think Drone to fight Xanthix Harvester. Good move there. Containment Field onto the Shockworm. And that's the turn. Pretty straightforward turn, just to cycle through his cards, see what he can get. 2 Pen Package Jagas, Grasping Vines, Blood Money, Lollop, Forge Master Og. None of which is really going to help him here. Nathan has forged that second key. He has a big hand of 10 guards. Petitbot saying the game is over. Petitbot has conceded. So, in just 25 minutes, we have a concession here. I've seen great comebacks before. Petitbot confident that would not happen. Yeah. Ooh, yes. Petitbot confident that the comeback would not happen here. We're going to trust him on that one. Nathan acknowledging the opener was gross. He really had a wonderful high roll that he played. He played well there. Petitbot Not out of this fight yet. Remember, this is double elimination, so he will be down into the losers bracket, making his way up to the final there for still a chance. Nathan still can get a loss under his belt. If this deck keeps rolling like this, he's certainly got a chance.